Hi, welcome to the course, the physical chemistry part of the CA 1001 chemistry, structure, bonding, and reactivity. Let us move on to the topic thermodynamics. Now, most of the topics are already covered in the intermediate. You should recollect the basics from your intermediate knowledge, like the work done in irreversible or reversible paths and adiabatic, isothermal works are also, you have to remember, isothermal where delta H and delta U equals to 0, adiabatic delta Q is equals to 0. The reversible work done in both process should be noted down and useful in this chapter. And also the process for calculating entropy is also remember is useful for this course. I listed down the all basics for thermodynamics in this chapter. Let's move on to the topic. Here I wanted to note two functions. So those are state functions and path functions. State functions are the functions or the quantities which depends only on the final and initial states of the path. They doesn't depend on the whatever or the path they follow. They only depend on the initial and final states. And another one is the path function. It depends on the path followed. There are only here two path functions. They are heat and work. Remaining all quantities of the thermodynamics comes under the state function. They only depends on the final and initial states, like enthalpy, entropy, internal energy depends on the final and initial states of the path. And next, the work. You have to note down the convention. Work done on the system, it is a compression, like it is positive. Work done by the system, expansion, it is negative. General expression for the work, dW is equals to minus P external into dV. There are two types of the works, irreversible work and reversible work. In the irreversible work, each and every P external not equals to P. And the reversible work, in each and every state, the system remains in quasi-static equilibrium. So P external is equals to P. This is only the difference between these two terms. In this chapter, we are limited to our discussion to only irreversible work done and reversible work done in isothermal process. That is very much useful in this topic. And another path function is heat. You already know the convention. And at a constant pressure, heat absorbed by the system is nothing but Cp dt or Cp into change in temperature. At a constant value, the heat absorbed is Cv into change in temperature, where Cp and Cv are the constants. And we already know that work done along a complete cycle or heat absorbed or rejected along the complete cycle not equals to 0, because they do not depend on the final and initial state. They only depends on the path. And next come to another state function, internal energy. From the first law, the expression for the internal energy is equals to U equals to Q, heat absorbed or rejected, plus work done. Du is equals to dq plus dw. At a constant pressure, let us assume at constant pressure, dq equals to Cp dt. Put in above the equation, you will get du is equals to Cp dt minus P external into dV. Here the changing variables are dt and dV. So the independent variables are t and v. Rewriting the exact differential equation like this and comparing with one, you will find du by dt at constant volume equals to Cv, du by dt at constant temperature equals to minus P external. These are very useful expressions. These are asked in the sum. By integrating, you will extract the terms, other terms with the help of the non-constants. It is helpful in solving problems. And another state function, enthalpy, which is the heat absorbed at a constant temperature. Heat absorbed at a constant pressure is nothing but Cp dt, and using this expression, you will get dH is equal to du plus Pw. Otherwise, it can be also said H is equal to U plus P. These are the further substitutions in the same equation. Solving the same equation like this, you will get a furthermore two expressions. These are also helpful in solving or finding the unknown constants. The change in enthalpy of a system is equals to the amount of heat exchanged at a constant pressure. And next comes to the another state function, entropy. dq reversible by T is equals to 0. This is the proof from the Carnot cycle. This dq reversible by T is defined another character like entropy. That is equal ds equals to dq reversible by T, and delta S is equals to integration from temperature 1 to temperature 2 dq reversible by T. Note down the heat is here represented is only reversible. Note down this quantity. Why am I stressing here like that? Whether the system followed any path, you have to take a one reversible path and calculate the heat in the that path, and calculate the entropy by using this formula, because entropy is in a state function, independent of this path follow. And another equation, delta S total is equal to delta S system plus delta S surroundings. For delta S total for reversible process must be greater than 0. Delta S total for reversible process is equals to 0. Here it means delta S system is equal to minus delta S surroundings for reversible process. Delta S total less than 0, which is impossible or not spontaneous generally. And these are here are the formulas which should be noted down and used in when the problem is asked. And during the state changes, these are the formulas for the entropy change. And next, I have given the one problem here. You can understand very easily. And next, defined the new term here, Helmholtz free energy, which is defined by A, which has an expression U minus Ts. And also, you know the Gibbs free energy, G is equal to H minus Ts. You have to remember all these fundamental equations. That's a very, very important in making Maxwell relations. Here, remembering the independent variables, you can write the differential equation, exact differential equation as I showed in the previous slide, and compare with this original equation. You get the equations and you will solve the problems by finding the unknown constant. Remembering these equations is very, very important. I will show you one example. Let us consider the expression for the A. Here the independent variables are temperature and volume. Write the exact differential equation and compare with this equation. You will get similarly, dA by dt at constant volume is equals to minus of entropy. dA by dV at constant temperature is equals to minus of pressure. By further differentiating again with respect to temperature, dou A by dou square A by dou P dt is equals to minus dou S by dou P here, and dou square A by dou P dou V is equals to minus dou B by dou T here. You will get further more equations for this and solving like this. First, write the exact, decide the independent variables and remember the fundamental equation and compare with those equations, and you will get the expressions like this. And furthermore differentiating, you will get another two expressions. These are 4 equations must be important, and I summarized all these expressions at one place using the Maxwell relations. Doing like that and comparing with all these equations, you will get to know what is the relations between these terms and how to use. And next, moving to the Gibbs energy, the same process followed for deriving the Maxwell relations here also. By considering this equation, take this dou G by dou P at constant temperature equals to V, which is equals to at initial temperature. This is the expression. By integrating on both sides, you will get this expression. This is initial Gibbs energy. This is the final Gibbs energy. For ideal gases, PV is equals to nRT. Substitute V in place of RT by P and differentiate, you will get this expression. And also using this expression, in place of entropy, you can substitute G minus H by T. By further solving, you will get the partial differential of delta G reaction by temperature with respect to temperature is equals to enthalpy of the reaction by T square. With knowing the enthalpy reaction, you can get Gibbs energy of the reaction. by remembering this equation, you can solve the equation for both enthalpy and Gibbs energy if one constant is given. And also next factor, chemical potential, which is very important. Chemical potential tells about the tendency of the system to give particle, and formula for the chemistry, it is denoted by mu. It is equals to dou G by dou N at constant temperature and pressure, whose convention is symbol are kilojoules per mole. Lower chemical potential means more stable. Here one theoretical bit may be asked. Lower chemical potential means more stable. And chemical potential for single component homogeneous system is nothing but molar Gibbs free energy. Here mu dn equals to dou G. dn when single component, dn equals to 1. So mu is directly equals to Gibbs enthalpy. That is this point. And the equations based on the chemical potential here also noted down. Keep noting and remembering this equation will be helpful in the problem. And also for single, let us take a single component system like A and B. Both are single components. For delta GB is equals to mu B, and delta GA is equals to mu A. If the enthalpy Gibbs energy of the reaction greater than 0, backward reaction is spontaneous. Gibbs enthalpy of the reaction less than 0, forward reaction is spontaneous. Gibbs enthalpy equals to 0, which is at equilibrium. I also divided in the previous slide here I guess. Yeah, from this equation you will get, I said for single component chemical potential equals to Gibbs energy. Substitute in this, you will get mu A chemical potential at final temperature or pressure is equals to mu A at initial pressure plus RT ln PA by P naught. And similar for mu B. And subtracting these two equations, you will get Gibbs enthalpy of the reaction is equals to Gibbs enthalpy initial plus RT ln Q. At equilibrium, the Gibbs enthalpy of the reaction is equals to 0. So Gibbs enthalpy of the initial equals to minus RT ln Q, and equilibrium Q is equals to Kp. This is the final expression, very, very important for problems where Kp is given. You have to find Gibbs enthalpy of the reaction initially. And also another rule, Gibbs phase rule, which is degrees of freedom is equals to number of components minus number of phases plus 2. I have clearly mentioned here. You will read out this, you will get to know the what is the degrees of freedom and number of components, number of phases in the reaction. This is useful to decide the degrees of freedom in the reaction. There is another problem which is previously asking, you have to remember two formulas for that. For first one, which is solid liquid coexistence. Note this, solid liquid coexistence curve. You have to remember this formula, which is nothing but, which slope is nothing but change in pressure by change in temperature, which is delta H fusion, molar enthalpy of fusion by T into change in molar volume. Change in molar volume nothing but liquid molar volume minus solid molar volume. Remember this equation might be helpful to find the slope and then pressure simultaneously for solid liquid coexistence. For liquid gaseous coexistence, Clausius-Clapeyron equation can be used, which is nothing but dP by dt is equals to pressure into molar enthalpy of fusion by RT square. By solving this equation, you will get to know the pressure if molar enthalpy of the fusion. No, these two formulas must be remembered in order to find the slopes of the solid liquid coexistence curve and liquid and gaseous coexistence curve.